I want to move on now to the Miami Miracle. Something that you've seen just once in a lifetime, and you see it every week, not the result, but you see the action every week. You see a team that's down one score and they have the ball within a few seconds of the game left. With time expiring, they dump it off and they give up a few laterals and they try to make it down the field. As a Giants fan, personally, I've seen that many times. The Giants have tried to do that many times. Lateral the ball, try to do something with it, and many times the Giants have failed. And I've seen it happen to the Giants many times. A lot of teams try to lateral the ball on the Giants, and it winds up not going in their favor. It happens all the time. You're gonna see it probably twice or once every week. You're gonna see a team down one score with time expiring left, one play left. You're going to see a team lateraling the ball, trying to get to the end zone. This is the one time that probably in my experience in the NFL, I've seen it happen. I think it was like Miami versus Duke. I've seen that in college before, but in the NFL, I've never seen it happen. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it happen, but I've never seen it happen. This was a great play. I mean, first, Ryan Tannehill. We'll get to the Patriots in just a second about Bill Belichick's decision to put in Rob Gronkowski instead of Devin McCourty on the field. But you have to give it to the Dolphins. Do not take anything away from the Dolphins. That looked like it was discussed in practice. Like I'm sure every team wants to, they practice it just in case that type of situation happens, but they know they're not going to focus too much time on it because they don't think it's going to happen really in a real game scenario. But you can tell that they have practiced it before, that it wasn't just made up. Ryan Tannehill decides to dump it off. I think it was Kenny Stills in the beginning, or Devontae Parker. It was one of those two. One of those two had the ball at first, and then it was Kenny Stills at first. Then he laterals it out over to Devontae Parker. And Devontae Parker laterals it over to Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake makes a move up and then decides to cut it back, go around, and get a good block by, I don't know, I think it was O'Leary. I think it was Nick O'Leary. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was a bigger guy that decided that got a block on a Patriots defender, and he was off to the races. Makes a nice swivel move inside to outside to the outside hash marks to the sideline. And Rob Gronkowski gets a terrible angle on what Stephen A likes to call it, his peg leg self. Gets a terrible angle and misses a tackle, and Kenyon Drake winds up winning the game for the Miami Dolphins 34-33. Now that we went over, we gave the props to the Miami Dolphins. What the hell was Bill Belichick thinking for the Patriots in getting Rob Gronkowski on the field playing safety? Now, we see it all the time in these Hail Mary situations. We see offensive players that are pretty good at catching the ball, pretty tall guys, come out into the field and try to bat the ball away. For the Giants, we see Odell Beckham come in these Hail Mary situations. He comes in and plays safety. For the Falcons, you see Antonio, and for the Falcons, you see Julio Jones in the field making a play. For the Lions, Calvin Johnson used to be on the field, so on and so forth. You see bigger guys, you see the guys that can catch the ball, bat the ball away from offense, go onto the defense to place the Hail Mary situations. But the Dolphins are on about the 31-yard line. You have to throw the ball a good 70 yards to reach the end zone. There is no way possible that a Hail Mary situation would be forced upon. Why would you put Rob Gronkowski in that situation? He has an injury problem. He is not the same Rob Gronkowski from before. Even so, he's a bigger guy. He's not He's more like a linebacker build. On top of that, he's not very athletic in that in a linebacker build. He doesn't have sideline to sideline quickness. He doesn't have the ability to make angles to tackle a ball carrier. Kenyon Drake just barely even tried on Rob Gronkowski. Rob Gronkowski couldn't get an angle on him. On top of that, he's not fast enough. With the likes of Kenny Stills, Devontae Parker, and Kenyon Drake, you would expect a more faster guy out there on the field for the New England Patriots, and that just did not happen. And what a job by the Miami Dolphins. What an even worse job by Bill Belichick in his arrogant self, thinking that he knows everything. I'm gonna throw Rob Gronkowski in here, even though nobody would think he would do well. I'm gonna throw it well. I'm gonna put him out there, and if he does well, I'm gonna look like the genius. Now you look like a moron, Bill Belichick. So there's that, a Miami miracle taking place for the Miami Dolphins as they win 34-33, as the New England Patriots on the road against the Miami Dolphins are a whopping 7-10 in the Tom Brady era. So Tom Brady is 7-10 in road games against Miami, playing in Miami. So that's a big stat to look forward to every year. Every year it happens. I think last year they lost against Miami, and the year before that as well. So you should always be looking for an upset against the New England Patriots when Miami is playing at Miami.